watching me like a nigga is cable. I'll be on no label, but my clothes be all label.
I heard your boyfriend fucking up again. Yeah. Story of a life, I think what's up with him. It's an argument about what you meant, but he don't know the truth, you won't let him in. Slide through after dark so we can lay low. Plus I'm just your friend, at least we say so.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode with No Label Convo. Here with my boy Nell.
What up?
Special shout outs to everybody that's been supporting so far. Instagram, YouTube, subscribing, sharing, word of mouth, showing us love when we see y'all in person. Appreciate all of it for sure.
Definitely appreciate all the love. It's growing slowly but steadily. I'm watching this shit go up. It's dope. Just watching it from starting from nothing and seeing it to what it is now.
Starting from the living room, in my living room.
Word.
That's how it started?
Yeah, because we just doing a regular podcast at first. With like me, him, Dion, and then David.
Shout out to Dion, man.
Shout out to my guy.
That's a fact. And also shout out to our sponsors, man. Shout out to Guap Coin.
Powered by Guap Coin. Powered by Guap Coin.
Hell yeah, cryptocurrency for the culture. You know what I mean?
For real.
Get with it. Get with it or get left behind.
Shit. To the moon.
Hell yeah. So I'm here today with a really talented brother.
Appreciate you.
Man, he done took pictures of all the artists you love. Video board come do some ill videos. Man, nothing less to do. Introduce Creative Connect. Boy, it was good.
Appreciate it, man. I just want to say thank you guys for even having me. It's definitely a pleasure. I super admire what you guys are doing.
Appreciate
like
it,
you
man.
guys said, you guys started in the living room, but this joint jumping.
Appreciate it, man.
You know.
It'd be funny because my brother be telling me, he be like, yo, well, people fucking with your interview. And it's like, I'm in it, so it's hard to like tell to feel it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, word. Like, appreciate
Honest,
that shit.
It's the consistency for me.
Yeah, that's what
it's
people
the
say.
consistency for me. Like, y'all boys be super consistent, and I think that's like super important nowadays for like, especially a podcast. Like, I would say Renaissance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, any
And that's
creative-
something we probably think we should work on is consistency. Well, at least that's what I think we could work on.
I can get
So
better,
be even
go
more
up.
consistent, yeah.
Yeah, we just like we want to keep building the team, and we'll be able to put out joints quicker because it's
Yeah,
like
fact.
we have so much like people who want to sit down with us. Like we don't have enough time. Damn near.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah, so it's just like shoot anybody who's interested in helping us out. You know what I mean? Hit our inbox on IG, hit our email.
What they say, serious inquiries only.
Please. Please, serious
Right.
inquiries only. Let's get started. You from Buffalo, right?
I am from Buffalo, yeah.
What side of town? What side of town you grew up?
Uptown, of course. East side.
Uptown. We was talking earlier. He was like, you went to Bennett, right?
That's a fact.
Did you play any sports or no?
I ran track.
Oh, yeah,
I was that dude that like I was cool with the coach, but he was just like, damn, you got long arms and long legs. Nah, I need you for track. And I'm just like, I'm trying to play basketball. Nah, I need you for track. Literally wouldn't let me play in any sports. Because our
It was the same coach for track and basketball?
same coach for track, basketball, and then he worked aside the football, but he was like also there on football, so it was just like, and then you know Bennett has all high stadium, so like all the Buffalo public schools come there, so it is just weird. they confided me.
Yo, track was fire though. I wish I would have ran it more because like I didn't run to like my senior year. Coach Sardo was begging me. You know,
Yeah,
like,
Sarah was begging me all the time. I was like, it's a dub.
Where'd you guys go?
Touch Tech.
Touch Tech? Where? That's fire.
I was like, it's a dub for that track shit.
I mean, y'all boys had the all-state team for like track.
Yeah, and cross country.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
8 years strong. When I was the shit, they kept it going probably.
nah, it's still going.
Oh yeah,
it's still
Boys,
going.
we was nice. Shit. So, were you taking pictures when you were in high school?
I've been taking pictures for about like since I was like 10 maybe.
Word.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Did somebody like put a camera in here or something you just naturally gravitated towards?
My dad used to do like VHS tapes, as cheesy as it really sounds, but like I was like sheltered when I was younger, and we used to just travel out, just me and my like internal family. And he used to just always do home videos, and I thought that shit was just so cool, like for real. And he used to always do film photos, and he was a photographer before he got into the medical field. So I used to just be like, yo, it's more than possible. Like my dad was like jigging and selling paintings and like working at ECMC. I was just like, I didn't have no concept of like a starving artist or it ever not working. So I was just like, I fell in love with it.
That's
That's
dope.
hard, yeah.
That's dope because a lot of people fall into that misconception of like, oh, in order for it to be real artists, like you have to struggle. It has to be from the very bottom. And it's like, not necessarily.
No, there's people out here like with art that never even, like I said, just sheltered, don't even understand what a starving artist really look like. They got family members that pay that way and just. I mean, granted, that's a whole different crowd. I ain't saying I'm in that crowd or anything, but it's definitely people out there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because, like, they do that shit, like, even with, like, I say in the conscious community, they're like, oh, if you're supposed to be broke. And it was like, that was what do you call it? The poor righteous teacher?
Why was that a thing, though? Or why is that a thing?
That's I think a lot of it comes from because when people get money and things that they do for money.
They don't care as much about, like, the art or the craft.
or, like.
Or creating, maybe.
Yeah, like the physical.
Like they start doing it for the money versus for the love and the passion.
I feel like the mainstream idea about money is what is the misconception. Like a lot of people, that's what the narrative is. Like publicly for everybody to sell. Like you gotta be grinding and do all this other extra shit. When it's just like, I had like 6 shrooms with my one homie. We was like looking at this mansion and he was just like, yo, my grandfather used to own this joint. And it just clicked in my head. And I was just like,
that's crazy.
I'm like, bro, did you, like, you don't even gotta, like, go hard, move to LA, do all this extra stuff, be this model to, like, afford that. Like, you could just get, like, a basic job and pay a mortgage like anybody else and, like, still acquire that. Like, you don't, and it came to me in a thought of, like, if you could have what you're working for right now, would you do the same shit?
That's a good question.
It's like, I'm pretty sure most people would be like, nah.
Yeah. That's a fact.
So it's like, it doesn't matter how you get it as long as you get it.
That's a fact.
That's if the, like, material shit, if that's your, like, ultimate goal. Though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, if you fulfilled in life and happy,
Word, dude.
none of this matters anyway.
Yeah, what you want to do. Yeah, because I was with Truly and we were talking, like, I don't even think we were talking about it, but I was on some shrooms at his studio.
I was there when you pulled up.
So you dipped. It was after you dipped. I'm chilling there. I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is where the fucking value is. Like, people be putting it into the money, but it's like, bro, it's money really just like some digital. At this point, it's digital numbers on the fucking screen. So it's like, really, I'm looking at this shit, and I'm like, yo, there's a lot of value in this place. And it's just like things that we like, he'd do something for me, or like I'll be doing work for him and then be like, oh well, I'll paint this canvas for you. Bet. And like that's our transaction. Or it's like, oh, we're doing this, I'll send you some, I paid you in guap.
And I'd be like, I'm cool, bro.
We be like, bet. And then it's like really creating the means of value in exchange. And that shit, like I don't think people grasp the power in it.
I mean, because we really taking our power back, and it's almost like going back into like the barter system, like back in the day. Like, you know what? Like, I like this herb. I just want to give you some beads for it. Shoot, cool. Same value to me, because I want some beads.
Yeah, because I got hella beads over here. You got hella herbs.
Right.
Come on, that shit makes mad sense.
It's the government that's made it to where you need this paper money or this money in order to attain these things.
Get your fiat notes. Get your fiat. But it's like I was
because it's not the people you mingling with every day and making these interactions and exchanges with.
True.
Because like we just said, you can do it that way and accomplish the same amount of things.
Facts. And I was kicking it with Kev and Free Music Party.
Oh, word, that's cool.
Yeah, we was over there kicking. We was talking about just like the value system of how we value shit, and it was just like we literally came up with that to that consistency. It's like money is supposed to be the tool that gets us to
experience life.
Yeah, the thing that we want, and people fuck it up when they make money the end goal instead of like, and that's the issue. I feel like a lot of people, like what we're seeing in society today with just shit with the shutdown and all that type of shit. Like, it's so many people losing money. It's like, what the fuck? But
So like, how did like Corona and the quarantine and shutdown? How did that affect your work and like creative process? Any of that?
So I'll start by saying first, I mean, when everything shut down, nobody was doing nothing. And for a second, I was just like, I was pretty comfortable with it. But it took like a moment where I was just like, a lot of my work consisted on like, because I do a lot of music industry stuff. So I was just like, dang, like my whole career kind of is like based on the entertainment industry. So I thought of ways to just like pivot out of it. And I went through like a little mode where I was like, I don't even know what's next. Like, because there was like, the industry's going to be shut down for like another like 2 years or like a year and a half, unless you like one of them, heavy makers that's like still get to move behind the scenes. So you get to still be active.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what I'm about to do. So I end up going through like a breakup with this girl, and my boy ended up going through a breakup. We were just at the same time, and he hit me. And at that time too, like I just was like privately like meditating and just doing hikes on my own, just healing myself. And I hit my boy up one day, and I was just like, yo, bro, you trying to go to I think it was like Watkins Glen or something. I was like, yo, you trying to go on a hike, man? He was just like, yo, I'm actually going on a hike that day to Zion Park. I was like, oh, word. Well, so let's link up, bro. Let's go do it. He just like, nah, bro, like it's in Utah. And I'm like, going. And at that time, I think it was like a Friday. We was trying to go Sunday. And I was just like, Utah? Shit, I'm there. It's whatever. I was like, yo, we there. Like, we ended up taking like a cross-country trip from Buffalo to Los Angeles. And essentially, we was going to stop in Utah, but one of our boys, he moved to LA. So we was like, we might as well just go all the way full cross-country. And long story short, we developed the brand Hike and Meditate, but we really took our time to like really heal. And once I started to heal, then I got into therapy, and I started to really like reassess everything that I had positioned, so I didn't feel like as closed about like the music industry and like feeling like I was just like hopeless, and like my career relied on other people going up and things of that nature. So after that, I took a pivot from it, and as soon as the world opened back up, for some weird reason, people came. I think just naturally, everybody was like enclosed in their crib, and then when they came out, everyone knew what they wanted to do. So the business just boomed right up.
Word.
Like, which I didn't expect. But at that time, I had mentally already took myself out of that place of like, nah, it's all cool. And I just wanted to create my own path. But shoot, COVID really helped. Like, it really helped boost the business and morale up. And it gave me a clear vision of like where I was fucking up at, where I was doing immature things, and where the things that I was doing really good, so that I could have a more defined direction.
You had time to really sit down and be able to analyze and see stuff, because
for
you're
real.
probably on the move, on the go all the time, shooting, editing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I was trash. I remember I was talking to my boy Adrian, him and his art, and we was just like, it was just one day we were just tired of just like shooting. We had like another shoot the next day. We just was like chilling in the car, and I was just like, bro, this is a lot. I was like, dude, we are on the move. And he just was like, bro, we might as well get used to it. It ain't never gonna stop. Yeah. And then when the world went on pause, we touched base again, and I was just like, yo, we is never ever going to get a chance to stop like this again. We got to take full advantage of this, because I remember when we thought this was never going to happen. So now that it is, like, we really just got to embrace it and take that time to, like, relax and actually rest and really, like, shift the value of what life is. And I've really learned what it feels like to be fulfilled now.
Yeah, that's fire. Because a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, some people didn't take that time to really, like, reflect and clear up what they needed to, so they could really function again in society. But it's like a lot of people did, and like you said, you did it, and your business started booming. And it's so funny because people think like it's almost like a contradiction. It's like I'm doing nothing, but I'm focusing on myself. But everything around me, once the world opened back up, starts flowing like crazy.
Literally.
And that's one thing I feel like people miss on. Like, if you clear up what's inside, like mentally, spiritually, that shit will have you everything else around you flowing crazy. Like,
yeah, for real, the best way I could look at it is like, if you got an antenna and it carries a signal, if it's dirty and blocked, you're not gonna get the signal. If you're moving around, you're not gonna get the signal because some places got bad reception. If you just sit still and clean yourself, you're gonna get good reception. Like it's just
That's
that
a good-
simple.
That's
A good
facts.
analogy.
That's super facts. You gotta clean your antennas. You know what I mean? When did you cut your hair?
What? I think it's been like a month. I
Word?
think it's been like a month. Yeah, it's still relatively fresh.
Hold on, what'd you have before?
I had dreads, but
Yeah,
I had
lots.
dreads for like 6 years. My dreads is like down here.
Yeah.
Because I think I kind of like might have seen them or remember it, but I can't picture it right now.
Cause bro, I'd be like,
I think I might. Did you used to wear them? Like,
Yeah, I used to
up?
always
Yeah,
wear the
I
pineapple
seen you with
head.
them up before. That's
yeah,
probably it.
I never really wore them down, never really, cause it just, I don't know.
It's annoying.
It is. That's what made me cut it. Like,
Gino just cut his. You next.
I know. It's like
somebody got to hold it down.
yeah. I'm gonna hold on to them as long as I can.
Nah, I still got my dreads though. I
Word?
be thinking about reattaching them, but I'm gonna wait. But I'm gonna just grow an afro out.
I respect it.
Did your brother keep his?
For now.
For-
You know what I'm saying? Nah, cause like you know how like sometimes like you go through a change and like they say like if you burn the locks, it kind of like burn like bad energy away type shit. He was thinking about doing some stuff like that.
That'd be fire.
We'll see. Yeah, cause I think the first person it's funny cause like it makes complete sense, but it's like the first person I heard say they do that was like Isaiah Rashad.
Really?
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite artists, man.
yeah, he go hard. And it's like he was like, because people were looking like he was gone for a while, but his hair is the same length. like what? And he explained that. But yeah,
He's been
man.
gone for a minute, man. Can't wait to hear from him again.
That'd be fire. I know he got some things that we're kind of seeing some stuff, so
Word.
we open. I was super happy when I went to Days in Vegas. At this point now, it's 2 years ago, but that was like his first show back, and he performed. It was just a good experience.
Word. You went to Days in Vegas. Was I don't want to mix it up. Wasn't you taking pictures with like Beyonce's photographer or something like that?
No, that was I did. And that was shout out to Raven. That was Duce Palooza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Derek too.
Word. Shout out to DJ.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rory, man. Get back on the Joe Budden pod, man. We need you.
Hell yeah. So what's those experiences like being at those big concerts and big venues and trying to capture it on a lens?
Honestly, it's pretty chill now. Like it don't even like it be mad regular. Like they be regular people. So just like I kind of just take people for who they are. Like even when D-Jack introduced me to Raven, I didn't even know who she was. He just introduced me and just was like, yo, this is such and such. And I just was like, oh, yo, pleasure to meet you. It wasn't until like the day after I was like, oh, but it was just like she was mad cool and everybody was super humble. But like I like being in it to experience it, but not being of it. You know what I mean? So that I can like freely move and just like meet people how they are versus just being like, oh, because I feel like I need to start like being like taking pictures with people, but I've been in so many different rooms and I don't even be like, let's take the flick. I just be like talking and shit and just goofing
shit
around.
happen to happen.
Yeah, and I be
The
trolling.
experience.
You say you be trolling?
Yeah, I'm a troll.
How so?
I just be trolling people. Like, it just be funny and stuff. Like, I when I had met J. Cole, I just was kind of like, just trolling with him. Just like, oh, dang, bro, when your birthday? Oh, where we got the same birthday. Just kind of like, just trolling with him and just like having fun. Cause like, I could say like a lot of these situations be like super serious. And I don't even want to come on set or be at a concert and be that guy that photographer that's like,
you can't
pose like this, do this, do that. Like I just want to come with like being natural and that comic relief. Like, bro, them shoes jive trash, bro. Like you could come harder than that. I know you could come harder, or just like messing around. Like, oh yeah, that fit go hard, you got it, or it's just something.
Yeah.
I fuck with that.
Yeah, you can't take yourself too serious in this industry, man. You'll lose your mind.
They already be having 1 in a million. Like that moment, I was walking up to him and somebody was like having him listen to a beat. So I was just like, I'd be even more awkward. I was like, I don't even want to put no pressure. Then I don't want nobody to feel like I'm taking away from like day situation stuff. But I just be being just a real person and just trying to have fun, making everybody comfortable.
Yeah, that's valid.
So when did you get comfortable with like carrying the camera around, just taking shots, whether it's video, just amongst people and not feeling like, because I know just me personally, when I was like really getting started, I just felt kind of uncomfortable like taking pictures of people all the time or like carrying around a camera, because you kind of like growing up where I grew up and shit, I'm sure where you grew up, you look like the feds or the police when you got a camera and shit around all the time.
Yeah.
So like when did you become comfortable with doing that and not feeling like that?
I'm still not comfortable. I think that's a power, though. You know what I mean? I think when you become comfortable, that's when you start doing stuff you probably shouldn't be doing, or just not taking moments you should be taking. Because I feel like for me, I went through a phase where it's like I wasn't really comfortable taking pictures because I don't want to be the guy with a camera in somebody's face all the time. Then I got over that. Now it's uncomfortable because it's like I'm comfortable with being in a room with the camera, but now people look at me like, you got to take a picture if you're here with your camera. Like, you got to. I'm just like, ain't nobody drop a bag. So, like, I'm here for the love. So I'm a professional. I'm going to take shots that's, like, good moments. But, like, I'm not here to, like, just document everybody's life. Like, I got a life. I want to chill. I'm a human, too. Like,
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, the camera be making situations hot. Like, sometimes I just pull up no camera. But then it'd be even more awkward because then people would be like, where's your camera? And I'm just like, damn, people only want me around with the camera. It's crazy. That's wild.
Acting like it's like an arm or some shit, nigga. This not an attachment to my body.
Extension of
It's like a vehicle. Because it's like, I look at it like the camera's like the wheel. Because, like, the camera's taking me all over the place, but I just touch it, and the camera has a life. Like, it's the camera that's doing all of this. I'm just, like, looking at it from my life. But at the end of the day, you put that camera down, somebody pick it up. It's just life through their eyes now. Because they're going to want the same camera. They're going to want to do the same thing, go to the same places. And it's just, bro, that's just the world we living in right now, where cameras really have their own life.
That's super interesting that you say that. Because it's like, we living in a society now where everything is so much more on camera, recorded, Snapchat. People are trying to document everything, and it's like when I used to party in Fred, like the shit will bug me out because everybody would have their fucking phone out with the light. Like, it's parties you like to have them dark. You know what I mean? Do your thing so nobody can see. It's you damn near think the lights is on because everybody got their fucking Snapchat up, and it's just like.
That's how it more so was when you got there, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, the first year it was cool. Like the people that was seniors, they was maybe like 20. I was 24. Well, like that first. Yeah, you was a senior. You was a senior, and that was my first year there, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. But then as the years progressed, I'm like, oh my god, this should make me sick.
That first
like,
year you came is where I started to see it.
Yo, because it was bad. It was
when I first got there and he was there. Yeah, when I first got there and Kimon was there, it wasn't like that. It wasn't really no camera. Like, it would be cameras, but it wasn't an all the time thing. Like, you could dance with a girl, get off, get to the next girl, no problem. Now you dance with a girl,
you got
flashlight
you
on
got
all
three.
red.
You got three cameras in your face, and it's like, yo, bro, I'm just
it hot.
Yeah, it's like, bro,
hot.
this shit is ridiculous, man.
It's because, like, people want to be validated in their lives more than, like, actually being valid. like,
That's a fact.
Like, they want
Quotable.
they
No label quotable.
They want to be with the coldest shirty, get freaked, had that shit on camera, and then
Pushing
like,
her down so they can see the shirt.
you get that. You gotta get the fit. And, like, and then post it, and then hope somebody gonna be like, "You that boy, you that girl," and it's just like, for what though?
Right.
Bro, it's so
For what? Like, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I never did it, but I'm also gonna sit here and say I grew from it, so I can't even understand why it's still happening for some people.
Yeah, I think what we're about because like R.I.P. to DMX. Like,
Rest in peace.
when
sure.
I thought of the black experience, hip hop, anything, I looked at DMX. I said, "Oh shit, I'm preparing for the world to be like this when I get older and have that experience." So when I grew up and I'd see what it became, I felt so fucking awkward. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Yeah, like, bro, I remember my first concert in Cleveland. I was there. It was A$AP Rocky, Danny Brown, and Schoolboy. These motherfuckers was in there like moshing, and I'm like, what the fuck is going like? And it kept getting pushed. I'm ready to knock the one white boy out. He was high, probably off Xans or something. This nigga, his eyes rolling to the back of his head. He just pushing the crowd, and I'm like, everybody's fucking spread it out like the Red Sea, like, cause they see me, but like I want to hit him, and they looking at me like I'm the bad guy. I'm like, okay, this shit is weird. I'm like, you know what? Let me just leave. Like, let me just leave, cause security. I even saw security waiting for me to do it. Like, I'm like, I gotta find a different approach. Let me find a different approach. Let me just sit back and develop. And then like that helped me get into like my introspective bag, because it was like the world ain't like I seen it growing up. I have to adjust, because like what Joe Budden say, if you the only real nigga everywhere you go, you must be fake. Some shit like that. He say some raw shit.
I can't remember.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, man. It's just like it's cool to see how everything has changed. I'm just curious on where it's going. So for like coming from the view of a photographer, where do you see things going as things keep getting more digitized? And
I think, let me think about it before I speak.
Yeah,
I'm a double back.
all right, yeah, because I think about it, and it's like, the cameras on the phones be just as good as some of the equipment that people like professionals from back in the day used to buy. So it's like, I don't know. I think because we talked about on a podcast, like one of our first episodes, like how where we see the game gonna be in 10 years and shit like that. And I was saying we're gonna see people getting signed to like tech companies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I was like, that was my hot take. And it's like, as we see shit with the NFTs, you see this shit with like shit.
Even the Triller and Versus situation.
Yeah, it's like, bro, the app gonna start signing niggas.
But the crazy thing is, I would say for photography, it's already happening. It's just not public. Like, it's so many, fact. Like, I know mad photographers that I follow signed to Sony. Like, or at least, like, brand ambassadors, but that's damn near just being signed to them and just using their equipment to, like, produce high-quality content. So it's just like, it's already happening, but I feel like certain markets, that type of stuff don't even go public, because you got to think, even in tech companies are signing people, but the only time it go public if it's entertainment. Like, how many other people they got software engineers signed, they got all this other stuff signed. What's the difference between being hired and signed besides you being owned and you work? It's really just the only difference. Like,
that's true.
So I think like the future of photography, it's just gonna be the same future across the board for all industries. The power just gonna be in the people hands. Like, companies ain't signing people, they signing people's brands. Like, you're not gonna just get hired as a person, or that's how it'll be. If you got a brand, they gonna sign your brand. If you just a person, they gonna hire you. And that's usually just how the different worlds really weigh out. And I think it's just becoming a world more of like, everybody got a brand. It don't even matter. People's babies got Instagrams.
That's a super fact.
People
10
kids,
times as many followers as me. The baby.
YouTube's making millions of dollars, and their parents is literally just jugging it. Like, yo, you want to play with these toys? Like, I'm going to just buy you all these toys and just record you playing with them and get your review so that other kids can be on the tablet and see this. It's just like so innovative and out the box, because it's just like being able to like look, and I think people that are jigging like that are really good at making observations and just innovating it, because it ain't nothing to look at your kid and be like, yo, this is so beautiful. You know what? I just was around like 10 of my other homies and watched their kids all doing the same thing.
Other people are gonna appreciate this.
Other people are gonna appreciate this.
Do you think it taints the moment?
Oh yeah, for sure. People don't even know how to be present anymore.
That's why I asked you the question, because you're a camera guy. So you come in the room, you know the temperature changes when you go in there with a camera and when you go in there when you don't got a camera. Because we both been in places where they be like, yo, please just like let's not take pictures in here, da da da. And it's a completely different thing. It's like the observation effect. Like, that's really on some quantum physics shit. Like, it's really like a thing. Like, when you have a camera present, the particles shit changes. Like, things that, and I think that's what as a concerned human. That's right. What I fear is gonna happen in society, where it's like, we're gonna put everything on camera, and we're gonna try to eliminate what's not on camera. And that's what we see in today's culture, in the media, propaganda, shit like that.
We're gonna eliminate human experience. People aren't even gonna feel the need to travel. People aren't gonna feel the need to like, dude, it's crazy. We got a new drone just came out. You put a helmet on and like you practically flying around in a drone. Like I remember we was talking, it's gonna be like a virtual dude.
I was about to say it's in the VR
virtual
concerts. That's gonna be a thing too.
Decentraland and shit like that.
It's gonna be like pretty soon we gonna see bums on the street, right? Not even like new age bums where they got virtual helmets and they not even like active in real life and they body just on the street. They don't got no car, no house, but they living in the virtual world. They body just here.
They probably lit.
So is that a good or bad thing though?
I think this. I don't think it's a good or a bad thing, but I think somebody gonna finesse and figure out where them bodies gonna go. I think that's what's gonna happen.
They gonna put them in a pod like the fucking Matrix, nigga. Shit, like.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's good or bad because I don't know if it's gonna be for my time, but I'll make sure my kid know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's a movie where it's like that.
Futurama?
No.
Yeah. Which is even crazy.
It got Bruce Willis, some other chick, and they're like, but they had robots that go into the real world, and they would get into the pod. And then
Dude, the girl got like red hair or something, like orange hair.
Yeah, it's like with like S like Centennial or some shit like that. I'm not sure, but it's really like literally that concept. And people were like getting killed because they were like somebody was doing something to the program, and then like they was like make them have epileptic seizures and shit. It was like it's some like futuristic drama, but the shit like it could really be valid in a few years. Like,
bro, all that shit scared me. Ever since I seen
Surrogate.
Yep.
Surrogate.
Good shit, Mike. Ever since iRobot and all that, man, artificial intelligence, all that shit scared me.
Sorry to get morbid, guys. This is
It's always
Keep it real, man.
Yeah, shit. Who was it? Let's say offer solutions, right? It just so happens to be.
Fuck that. We just gonna complain.
just gonna complain.
So today is Today April 10th. Today actually is International Kalindi Day.
Really?
Yeah. You heard of Kalindi Iyi?
Is that cousin from the convention?
Yeah. So basically, that's a dude who
rest in peace, man.
Yeah, rest in peace to him. More power to him. What's the name? Basically, like he would talk about the AI and all where things are going. He's talking about like he'll say like 10 years, this thing will be like unrecognizable because of how he calls it like the artificial singularity when it gets to the point where everything is so harmonious, like how it's so technology is so fast where shit is happening instantaneous, and it's gonna be like it's gonna change overnight just because the shit is moving that quick. I mean, shit, bro, it felt like we was in New York City yesterday, like what 2 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
And it like
yesterday.
Bro, it was my friend's birthday. I'm talking to her on the phone, and I'm like, I woke up today, and I'm like, I seen this. I was like, yo, ain't it so-and-so? Like, so-and-so's birthday. It's not still her birthday? Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm like, yo, because the time is going so quick.
Right.
But as far as, like, solution-wise, he was talking about, like, in order for us to, like, combat the technological and how fast it's moving, you have to be able to... His solution was mushrooms. He was saying if you... Because eat some mushrooms, it'll help you, like, everybody know it'll rewire your brain, and it'll help you flush and, like, be able to cope with how fast things are moving.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, shit, we can see, like, this shit is...
So he's saying, how often would you be taking the mushrooms? He's saying that's kind of the solution.
You have to listen
Paraphrase.
I'll say, yeah. To whatever your own discretion, because he people will say he's extreme, because he's with the bigger doses. So, like, it's really up to you, but I really think it's something just to even look into, because they starting to legalize it. They starting to use it for people who had, like, PTSD, emergency workers and stuff like
Mike
that.
Tyson, man.
Yeah. You see them eating mushrooms on his interview? Like, bro, I personally think, just, like, if you really, like, just understand, I'm not even saying, like, psychedelic mushrooms, but, like, if you understand mushrooms and what can be done with them, like, they got mushrooms that can fucking eat plastic, clean up oil spill, all types of shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like you can really change some shit by really just investigating and understanding that shit. So don't get morbid, guys. Eat mushrooms.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So, how did it feel when you started to kind of like break through on a like mainstream industry level? Were you kind of like nervous?
Matter of fact, right before we get there. So you said you started around like 10. When did you really start to take it serious as far as the photography and videography?
I had like 16.
Okay.
I had went to when I was at Bennett. I would always tell my art teachers and stuff like, "Yo, I want to do photography," and I was like, we had uniform, so there was no getting fleet.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't none of that. Like, but I had like at that time a sidekick, and I think I had like this other long Motorola phone, and I would like sneak in the bathroom and like set a timer on my phone and just like get flicks off in uniform and shit. And then like everybody like at Bennett just was like, "Yo, them shits is fire. Like, how you doing that?" And I'm just like, bro, I just be taking these shits on my phone. Like, and then a couple people started doing it, and it just started becoming a thing. And I started getting known for like just taking pictures. So I was just like, yo, I really like enjoy this shit. Like, I don't even at that time I really wasn't even thinking about no money or nothing. I just was like, I really enjoy just capturing moments and having fun. And at that time, me and my friend circle, like, we used to throw some crazy underground parties. Like, if you know, you know. Yo, it was nuts. We was really too young to be doing this shit. One homie, I ain't even gonna go there. We used to just throw some crazy parties, and I would always take pictures of shit there. And then like it started to build up like attraction. And then at that point, as I kept going, at that time I didn't even have Creative Connect. Like, wasn't even a thought in my mind. I wasn't thinking about getting any money. I had went to NCCC for about like a year and a half. When I left there, I came back to Buffalo, and I just took like a year off. I ended up meeting, linking back up with my boy Denzel. And at that time, he just came back from LA, and we literally came back in Buffalo at the same time. We lived down the street from each other, so he's just like, we ended up shooting with one of my best friends, Sam. Shout out to Carell. And
shout out to him.
we ended up talking about something, and he ended up the next day sending me a flyer for Vibrations. It was just like, don't tell nobody, bro. We about to do this joint. I was just like, all right. And then I ended up just interning with him and mess with him. He ended up giving me like my first real opportunity, like industry. And that's when we ended up shooting with A Boogie with a hoodie. And that was like my first initial like entrance into like the industry. And I could say I wasn't that nervous because he's a real generous dude. Like, it was people from New York City, but it was like a whole set based from Buffalo people. So he brought so many people from Buffalo that we've been like crumping with for years. And we kind of all transitioned into like the entertainment and media that I didn't feel out of place or anything because it was more people I knew than it was people I didn't know.
That's all right.
So it's just like being consistent with him on that. And then I met my business partner, Sean, like,
shout out to Holt Levy.
You already know. And like from there, I could say at first it was just a little bit uncomfortable because I didn't really know how to like process it all. Like everything was just moving so fast. Like I interned with Denzel, then I met Sean, then we started doing more stuff, then we started traveling with it, then we made like a whole tour, then we started going from city to city. So it was just like I ain't really even have time to really process it. We was just like kind of like coming across people, and then I would be there to take the photo. And it's not like when it all started, it wasn't like I was like backstage really. Like I was just at concerts. So it's just it'd be loud as hell, and like I'm with a camera getting bunched around and shit. Like everybody mosh pit, and I got a camera. It's like hard to really get a shot. So it's just like it wasn't until like later down the line where I was like able to work my way through and then get backstage to be able to be like, oh. And so it's like I already went through the fire before I can get comfortable. I was already super uncomfortable in the most weirdest positions before I could get backstage, and then people be like, yo, man, I seen you out there. I can't even believe you be doing that stuff. I give you respect because I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's one thing I respect. I've seen you in your process. Like you take real time. Like you're very patient and you do things like the right way. It's weird because like I've seen people shoot interviews before, but it's like your approach is very different. Like like
I
he go,
appreciate that.
yeah, he gonna be breaking a sweat to like make sure the shit is right. Like even you shot my brother video Caroline, the Caroline video, and
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
joint was hard too. I fuck with
yeah,
that.
Bro,
I
that
s-
was wild.
yo, I was like, he was dripping sweat, and I'm like, yo, this man is work putting in work with the camera.
He on the court right now.
Yo, literally.
Yo.
And we be down like 30. I be hopping in like, okay.
Gotta hop in Steph mode real
Okay.
quick.
Hell
Gotta
yeah.
put it on the board.
Yeah, but the shit came out amazing, and the
Appreciate
turnaround
that.
time was crazy. Like
Thank you, bro.
I want to say like I heard about you before I like physically met you because he was always cool with my brother, and then it's just like I seen the ascension like
Appreciate
from
it.
what it was. And, like it makes complete sense like why you are where you are, and yeah, shout out to you, bro.
You know the thing is, bro, it's just scary because it's still just the beginning. Like I'm building up, but I don't feel like I'm really anywhere. You know what I mean? You could still. I mean, I travel a lot, but you could still catch me uptown. If you catch me, like
Word.
I might slide through and pop up. And even then, like I don't know, bro. I be hanging around people that's like 30 and 40. So it's just like they be on a whole different type of time. So it's like, and like I said, I partied when I was younger. So it's like, you really might catch me at the function road. Like you said, you see me that day, and I'm like, all right, bro.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I just be literally jumping around and jetting how I get it in, and just move how I move. But this shit still ain't even done.
That's a fact. And I know what you mean because I felt like that when we were in the city, and it was just like we on the tour. Like it kind of felt like I felt like pre-tourish. like we out here, we in Times Square, we got the hotel, this shit cool, and moving around. It's like I've been at jobs where I'm traveling all like that, so like I'm familiar with this. I'm familiar like. I know niggas about to be tired. I know you ain't always got the time to run everywhere, and it's like, but that's just part of the process. And it's like we not even, and I'm like, yo, we not even there yet. Like this shit about to get wild. Like,
And I think, sometimes I used to struggle with like instant gratification about it all. But I'm like, by the time we all done, we gonna be so well seasoned that it's like it's a whole different. You could cook a steak and take it in the same restaurant, but that well seasoned joint is in the premium joint. Like, and it's gonna come with the presentation, and it ain't gonna come with the same price tag.
that's you said that last part. You ain't gonna come with the price, dog. Because man, I tell you what, like I like my big plan is like I want to be able to do tours like throughout the U.S. and internationally. So I'm like, bruh, my price will go up. Like you better come correct, cause man, I'm and people be thinking like, yo, I'm mad accessible too, and people be thinking I'm just somewhere in a cave like at the top of a hill.
And you be around.
I'll be out. I'm just like, bro, like, nigga, my phone, you can hit me, like, niggas know where to find me, like,
Literally.
but
So when did you start? When did you establish the name Creative Connect? Like when that come to fruition?
It was like
Where'd you come up with the idea?
6 years ago. It came to me in a shower. Not even going to cap. It literally was like at
Shit,
that,
that's where you get your best ideas at.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And I was like at a point where I was like, at that time, my Instagram name was like Sphinx, and I didn't have an I in it. I had like a V, and I was going by that for a minute, and like I was just thinking about what I shoot for, and I was just like, yo, at that time, I mean, actually, still to this day, like if you go on my Instagram, like there's so many different people that I shoot from so many different walks of life. Like I do real estate, and so it's like such a vast variety profile that I'm like, yo, it's crazy that literally you can go on my profile and I've like had a conversation with somebody and they want to get close to someone that's on my profile, and like I'll literally post their pictures so close to each other, and I'm like, you can kind of just like go on my Instagram and network. And I was just like, yo, I'm kind of like creatively connecting people through like photography, and I was just like, yo, that's funny and that's crazy. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I was like, Creative Connect.
that's
And it just came about. But like literally, I was just like, there's so many like gems and like ideas, people, quotes all on my profile, and it's just like so accessible to the public. and just people don't even take advantage of it. And that's what my platform is really for. Like, I want to be able to just like give the access to people that they don't have. I want to be able to help videographers or photographers coming up and being like, yo, like, I can't do this shoot. So like, I only had one person, well, two people in my life ever say, yo, here go to value, here go to connect, here go to bag. Go do what you want to do. And now that I'm growing to be in a different position, I just want to do the same thing that somebody didn't do for me before I met those people in my life.
Be the person you wish you met when you was a kid.
Literally.
That's the whole point of this platform right here.
Right, that's a fact.
That's why it's all synergy.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to do is like try to get more of the younger dudes like fresh out of high school. They're still in high school, but like I notice a lot of people hold themselves back. It's like or they don't understand how to take advantage of opportunity or like network. Because I've even been at that spot when I'm younger. It was just like I had opportunities to do certain stuff, and it's just like I didn't like. I've had a phone number, but I'm too nervous to call or some shit like that. And today we have so much access to shit like people like you just speaking on your Instagram. It's all there, but something internally you got to take that leap. Right. Because it's like we make it accessible or purposefully. It's like, but we can't. You could lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink.
Yeah, facts. I was about to say we can't feed it to him.
And even then, sometimes I be fumbling. I got a phone number right now. I probably should be calling, but
Yeah,
still ain't hit them niggas.
I be like that. I be looking at my phone. I'm like, because it's like it's be that important person. You be like, I only get a couple of these calls. Let me.
I be like, yo, let me really process what I'm about to say. I ain't trying to just wing it, and then boys be like, word. I'm with you. Never hit me back. Then I'm sick.
Right.
Like I'm sick. Like sheesh, I missed the opportunity. Yeah, I'd rather be patient. That's another one thing. Like I'm pretty patient. Like I ain't in no rush to go nowhere. Like I'm pretty fulfilled. Like I got like 2 trips I'm about to take this year, and I'm good. Like, I could drop a seed, like cut the crib, and never do nothing else again, and I'm like set in life, and I'm perfectly fine.
Come on, you was talking about going to Egypt, right?
Next month.
Come on.
So how'd that come about?
Bro, I just literally
Just decided to do it?
just got the bread and just said, I'm gonna just take my dad to Egypt. I was just like the same idea where I was saying with my homie about the
Going to
mansion.
Utah. Oh, okay.
I was just like, it's only $1,000. I done paid $1,000 for some kicks. Like, just don't buy the kicks. Just go to Africa. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right.
it's like at the end of the day, it's like that's more important to me now in life. Like, I done already did a lot. I ain't did that before. You know what I mean? Like, and the money gonna come, and I know it will bring more abundance doing that. Like, I can't even say. Sometimes I done got flea and it brought some type of opportunity, but on a percentage basis, that's probably like 20% out of 100. So it's just like I know that and what we're about to do with it, because without getting too much into it, because I don't want to like bad juju it. You know what I mean? But like it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
Dope. So what's next with like Hike and Meditate? Summer coming along. Oh yeah, let me shut up then.
What's next? Well, we going to Africa. We gonna be out there, but like what we got coordinated going out there with is gonna be big, but in like the longevity sense. Trying to know what I can say and can't say.
Yeah, we could just.
But we going to expand it better. The end result, we're gonna buy land and we're gonna make our own national park.
That's gonna be that's
like the long
necessary.
term, essentially. Yeah.
Fact. How could people get like to understand, like if they want to know more about Hike and Meditate? How would they
you
figure it
can
out?
follow us at Hike and Meditate on Instagram. And we got a website, hikeandmeditate.com. So you can pull up there. Like, it got really going on the website would be the best, because you can book our hikes through there. You can like learn. We have blogs and everything on there. And like my boy, he live in Atlanta. we got another boy that live out in LA, and we got people here based in Buffalo. So it's just like we already expanded. And shout out to black people who hike. So this is crazy. So it's like my boy James connected with black people who hike. Black people who hike is a pretty prominent like big platform in the hiking community, especially for black people. And you know, shout out to Debbie. She really like at that time, Hike and Meditate maybe had like 10 followers, if that. We did our cross country trip, and when we came back, we were just in communication with them, and then they end up just saying like, "Yo, we like what you're doing," and we end up like collabing with them on a hike in Atlanta, and we end up me and my boy. Actually, did I go by myself? I don't even think Dan Ron was even a part of it at that time. I went down to Atlanta and I linked with James, and we linked with Black People Hike, and we did a hike down there. And they really kind of like showed us the ropes and pulled us in, and was just like really put us under their wing. It was like, yo, this is how you do it.
That's how.
And it's like they've been like, one, it was some good women. Like they're good people to just like meet in general. They got good spirits, but like, bro, we just blessed, bro. Because like they really have helped a lot when it comes to like hike and meditate, and helped us like solidify our platform and just being like, you know, we never seen like a group of men talking about healing.
That's how I was gonna slide it in there next. Because like I never went on to I never did a hike until I went to Africa, and it was just like I could have took the cable car. It would have been 10 minutes to the top, and you know what I mean, oh nice, take pictures. But I'm like nah, I gotta hike this shit.
How long was the hike?
It's the hike's supposed to be like around an hour and a half too.
Your knees was hurting?
Bruh, we talking about an hour and a half.
I'm being serious too.
No, hour and a half. I'm talking about knee high stairs. Like your knee to chest going up like stairs for an hour and a half. I think it took me about 2.5, 3. But
a soldier.
Like, yeah.
So it's like 6 total.
No, we didn't hike down. We took the cable. But even coming down is way easier. It's way easier because like you can hide in, like you could chill in the shade. You can do all that stuff. So. Yeah, bro. But it was like, once again, like you said, black men and just talking about mental health. Let me try to pose the question right. Like even going back to shit like DMX, we understand the trauma that we've experienced just as black people in America, and specifically because we're black men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think is like, from your point of view, what do you think the stigma is on just trying to break through that? Like, it's okay to like almost like not be okay. It's just like, what do you think stops us from
like express your feelings and be vulnerable about your trauma?
I think it's environment, because in my opinion, I think in a lot of other communities, it's encouraged. And just because it's encouraged, I'm not saying like they take advantage of it, but I feel like they got the better tools to actually express that. And like different cultures like communicate differently. You know what I mean? So they joke differently. So it's just like, and I feel like also too, the biggest thing is like the number one thing that I realized is like, personally me, I'm not really trauma like experienced, and like it's a trauma based world. So it's just like, because I'm sheltered, like when I like even my girl now, like I'm working through things with her just off of just trauma and period that we all experience, or some of us experience, and I'm trying to like educate myself on a trauma. And I think it's hard because a lot of people go through stuff, but they hide it. Like people are really good at wearing masks and hiding what they're going through just because they don't want,
especially when the camera's on.
And it's so many cameras. People don't want to be feeling sorry for. They don't want sympathy. They want empathy. So it's just like, on top of all of these things, it's not really an environment to express yourself. Because at the same time too, how many, like I said earlier, I'm like, bro, I got like a core. I grew up with 10 best friends. So it's just like, at the end of the day, that's not normal.
That's facts.
So it's just like, a lot of people grow up and fall out and really ain't even got best friends. So who you going to talk to? A lot of people that got like a lot of broken homes. So who you going to talk to? So it's just like, you got
And therapy is something that's frowned upon in the community.
It's not a good environment. We don't have the tools. We don't have the environment.
It's not the tools of our culture, and and that's like, even it's funny coming back to it. It's like what I understood. Like I started studying. Like once I found out about like Kalindi and certain stuff that he was doing, I started studying different cultures. Like in ancient cultures, they used to use like psychedelics, weed, tobacco.
Right.
They used to use this as a form of understanding the trauma and coping and moving through it. Like if a country went to war, let's say back then, they went to war, the soldiers come back, they had to stay away from the people for at least a year. They had to go to a temple, they had to go to a certain place, and they would take mushrooms or whatever different like psychedelics to like clean their mind and like of the trauma, like and clean everything out, because you just murdered 500 people. And now I'm gonna go home to kiss my baby. Like like that don't make sense.
Yo, no cap. I took this class in Triple C. To this day, I don't even know how this was a class, but I can contest. Like I was in this shit. It was a paranormal anthropology class, and they talked about literally, like we watched a video about these people taking a trip to where was it? I think it was Peru, to take peyote cactus, and they got like
what is peyote cactus?
It's a hallucinogenic. Yeah. And they took it with a shaman, and it literally they took it to like rebirth themselves and get rid of their trauma. So it's like literally the exact same thing. My boy Cody, he went to Sweet Home, dude. This dude, I went to NCCC with him. I met him there. He went with a shaman and took the peyote cactus, and I had an actual person be like, yo, that shit is crazy. Like, I had trauma with my father and literally took the peyote cactus and faced my father in the like hallucinogenic. He's like, shit. Bro, I was a kid again in the living room, like talking to my dad. I was just like,
that's wild.
Yo,
like,
is the what is it called again? The coyote?
Peyote cactus.
Is that higher up than the toad?
I don't even know.
They say the toad is like
that's the ultimate?
Yeah, because some people do the toad. Like people, and once again, you talked about tools. White people be learning about the ancient civilization, what they used to do, and they'll pay $1,000 to go on a trip to do what his man's did,
bro,
to face their issues. Like
crazy.
Millionaires will pay that type of money to go and heal up their trauma. Like, bro, every black person that has trauma, bro, you grew up in the hood and they shooting shots in your neighborhood, nigga, that's traumatic.
But people think it's normal though. So yeah. I thought it was normal. Like I was just like, oh, literally, what was I doing? What was I yesterday?
Like I be making fun of people who, well, I used to. I don't know if I really do anymore. People who like have a certain reaction or move a certain way when they hear like something that might be a gunshot, because I was just so like prone to it, and I just heard it all the time to where like I hear that, it's like, shit, it don't sound like it's too close, so I ain't got nothing to worry about.
Bruh, I seen somebody get smoked when I was 6.
Shit, wow.
Like, fam, like I didn't think about that, but like it I remember growing up like, okay, I'm like maybe like 9 or 8, but I'm like, I just knew something in me was just like, yo, you live in a hostile environment, you need to be able to put on the front, you need to change your face, don't be smiling. Like I didn't smile till like my senior year of high school, bro. Like
shit, I didn't start smiling until I graduated college.
But it's just like that survival instinct is literally what is the reason why we don't have the environment. Because it's really like, I think the real question is like this. If I was to ask y'all, what do we control? Does the environment control us, or do we control our environment? Mm-hmm. And I think like that's the corresponding question, that it's like, are you in control, or what's around you controlling you?
And how are you connected to it? Yo, because I was in New York City. When I'm looking around, we was driving through Harlem. We was driving in the hood. And I'm really looking at it, like, trying to put myself in the mentality of all the great people, artists I know from this neighborhood. And I'm like, I could see, like, I'm feeling where they coming from. But I'm like, and I see why they're so, like, New York people, like, they talk aggressive. They're braggadocious, all that shit. I'm seeing it, what makes it. And it's just like.
Shit, we was even talking about how how savage New York dudes is when it come to like trying to talk to girls and spit game and shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're constantly seeing hundreds of people walking by all the time. So it's like, if I don't talk to this girl and have her approach right now, I might not ever see her again in this big ass town.
Right.
Yeah, and we're bumping shoulder to shoulder on the street. And if I don't come out and reach her and grab her to
Yeah.
get her attention, she might not see.
I'm never gonna see her again.
Yeah, so like that, and bro, it was just interesting, and like I'm really like absorbing everything. And I think of people like who pass away. I think of like Stack Bundles, like people know his name and hear it now, but he passed away a while ago. But he was such a genuine person in such a hostile environment that people keep saying his name, and his name lives on to this day.
Because it's bigger than the actual, it's bigger than the environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where it comes down, where you just outgrow your environment, or just like, you can always take another piece from a puzzle and fill in another spot, but that don't mean it's gonna be the image. You know what I mean? It's just filling in the spot.
That's
like,
a fact. That's a super fact. Because I be thinking of like, man, I plan on being international nails. Like, nigga, that's how motherfuckers gonna have to know me, because I'm trying to travel here, there.
But then, the number one thing I've like come to terms and realize in life, like the same way you talk about Stack Bundles is like how all of our light is. So it's just like you already are that.
But I think the issue is some people don't cultivate it. Because people will get that, like, you may have that gut feeling or the intuition that like, yo, maybe I should do this, or I should help this person, and da 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 da. And people ignore that shit, and that's what be dimming people's shit. Because there's plenty of times where I could have ignored my gut, and I wouldn't have got the opportunities that came up to me. Like, I didn't want to go to school. Like it's so fun because like I got a degree in teaching. Motherfuckers don't know I hate school. Like, like I've hated school for the longest, but it's like if I never went there, I'd have never got to Africa. Like, it's little things, or it's just like my friend was like, "Hey, yes, apply for the scholarship." Never applied for a scholarship a day in my life. I could have ignored it and just like, something was telling me like, man, just fill that shit out. Like, take 2 minutes, bullshit it, whatever.
Now can get a friend to shout out.
Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Amy.
What I'm saying is though, like, when you say like you want to be known for international travel, right? God forbid something happened to you, people gonna know you as an international traveler. Like, you are what you. It's like, do you want the mass to tell you, or do you? You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna cat. I try. I can really talk my shit. Like, yo, I feel like I'm been everywhere.
But you have though.
Yo, fam, like I've been up and down the East Coast crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. You are what you want to be already.
That's a fact. And I want my everyday reality to reflect.
Okay, yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. It's like manifesting type shit. Like, I'm big on like universal law and shit like that. Like, and really cultivating my shit. So it's like, shit, and I might as well shout it out now. We got a summer program coming up where where I'm gonna be teaching. Like, at this point, it's gonna be 5th through 8th graders. And we're gonna be teaching it to them through math. Like, I'm gonna teach you universal law through math. I'm gonna teach you art, and it's gonna be in such a way where it can be useful. Like, it ain't gonna be a basic, here's your find the variable, but. Yeah, bro. Like, I plan on really doing that shit. So yeah, I appreciate you doing it. My brother always be saying like, "Man, talk your fucking shit." Like, but yeah, dog.
I feel like talking shit isn't meant to be shit. It's just meant to know you the shit. You know what I mean? It ain't meant to like put nobody. You ain't putting nobody down when you around other people.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with you. It's all about how they receive it, what they got going on inside. That's
New York. They talk shit all the time. Man, this shit going crazy, man. You see how the fuck I'm coming out, all this other shit, and they just don't take it personal at all. They just be like, somebody else might talk they shit. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
I said, it ain't about you. It's all about the person that's receiving the information, how they take it in. They can take it as you talking shit.
I suffer from the same shit. Like, I'm super humble. Like, everything that I've like said today, like, it's not like I walk around saying this shit every day. Like, I'm trying to like embrace it, but it's one thing to experience, is another thing to embrace. But like, fucking just gotta do it on like one thing at a time. You know, I ain't perfect.
Facts, man.
So what's just to get back on
Yeah,
creative
we ain't
tip.
even talking nothing.
That's been a great combo.
Yeah.
High key a photographer.
So when you get into shooting more videos and videography stuff as to the photography?
That's a really good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. You know, I can't. So funny thing. It all started when I got out of NCCC when I came back. So I make music as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna start-
Dion told me about some shit.
I was like, I'm about to start shooting my own music videos. I've never shot in my own music video. I didn't get a chance to double back, not yet. But that's when I initially first started. I was just like, I was working with Rich Slave. Shout out to Chill Ali, you know, the whole gang, Simba, J Dot, my cousin Magic. And I was just shooting their music video. My first music video I ever shot was Ape Shit Crazy with Simba and Chill Ali. That was my first music video ever. And when I did it, them boys was just like, what the fuck? It was just like, this your first video? I was just like, yeah, bro. At that time too, I was at NCCC and I was learning how to do it on like a technical aspect. Like they taught me how to like do all the editing.
Oh, that was your major and shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just like, I already knew how to do it, but we wasn't doing music videos. So it's just like at that time, after I left NCCC, I didn't like YouTube University wasn't really a thing at that time. So I just had to learn from experience, and I just kept trying and doing new things, and it just kept going. And I do it kind of like in seasons. Like, well, now business has been picking up, so it's like I do more video now. So, but before it would be like I didn't have a studio, so it's like summertime take photos, wintertime fall do video, because that's how I would compensate. Because most places would need a location for a video, so it wouldn't be like I'd be outside in the cold, and don't nobody want to take portraits outside in the cold. So it was like that wasn't gonna be my bread and butter, but that's just how I built it up to start doing video. And now, like, it's just growing. I'm still working on it. I hope to like be able to get big enough to like have full productions and like direct bigger videos. You know,
Who are some of your like your
It's coming
favorite
soon for you.
videographers and like people that you've looked up to as you were coming up?
I would have to say it's this dude on YouTube. His name's like Christian Lazan or Lazar. Him, I would have to say Kid Art.
I fuck with Kid
Yeah, I
Art.
fuck with Kid Art,
Kid Art
too.
be having amazing shit.
I really fuck with how innovative he is with the way he designed videos. Like, he's developed his own style, and that's like something that like I aspire to do, is develop my own style. It's a director in LA. His name is 3 Hours Ago. Super fire. Super cool guy too. We ain't even got the link yet. We gonna link soon, but we about the same age. I've been following his progression before anything, you know, and he does like a lot of graphic work and things of that nature now, but his work is fucking phenomenal. But I definitely can say he inspires me. But other than that, like, I don't really got too many people. I'm the type of person, I don't really like, I kind of stay focused in my world and like what I got going on. I don't really try to look too much around at other people to be inspired.
Oh yeah. So yeah, man, that shit's dope, man. Cause how I see Buffalo, bro, is like on some real like divine like intervention shit. I really feel like we gonna have something crazy like these next couple years, just with all our creatives and people and shit like that, and like even kicking it with at the studio with Trav and shit. I see that can be recorded on some Hype Williams level shit.
For sure. I feel like even with the TV boy shit, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, so how was it shooting that joint?
I feel like it was a good experience. Like, it was cool to like just be a DP and just like shoot. Like, and it was cool like to be open to other people's ideas. Like, Brandon and Trav, like, we like ran through it before we even like shot it. Like True made sure everything was like locked in. He had like the set already put together. Like, he had everything planned, so he made it real seamless. So it was a really good experience, and I'm like, bro, I'm grateful, because bro, he hit me up like maybe like 2 hours before, 2-3 hours before. He just was like, y'all got this opportunity, bro. Like, you trying to do it? And I just kind of was like, sure. I just took off work and was just like, all right, I'm there.
That's hard. Yeah, and it be and now people like if any younger people like they trying to get into the industry, it be situations like that where it's like last minute.
Most of the time, that's how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
you just got to do shit. He damn near taught me that. You just really just got to do shit.
Yeah, bro, and like I learned that just hanging with Trav and this whole weekend, bro. Like a couple days before we went to New York, I was just hanging with Trav. We wasn't doing no chilling, watching Netflix. We went back to the studio. I could have went home. I go in there, shit. West pull up. We watched the TV Boy video, and it's just like, shit. Like I'm kicking it with him, chopping it up about the video.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then it's like we going to New York City. We went out to this shit. I was like, yo, you know where you got somewhere where you gonna stay? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, bet, because I don't know where the fuck I'm staying. Because I'm like, and I just don't want like we ended up getting a hotel and all that shit. But last minute, like we gonna do this shit and we gonna make it work. And that's one thing that imperative. Like if you want to make it in this industry, being available and being around to do ill shit.
And the thing about it is too, man, I don't want people like I'm big on keeping it humble and keeping it real, bro. I don't want people to think like I'm just out here traveling and I'm just like, you know, a photographer that's just like out here getting it. Like I'm super humble. Like I said, you can catch me on the east side. Like, bro, I got a 9 to 5. Like it ain't like that. Like I ain't out here just making it. It ain't that good yet. That's why I'm like I'm still in the beginning. Like it's just like I'm just around a lot of big players. That's really just all it is. It's just like a little bigger bag, but I need the Birkin bag, man. I need the Birkin bag, man.
I need the duffel.
Don't start with that Birkin
top
shit,
there,
man.
you know what I mean? Like,
Duffel on my back.
but
Yeah.
nah, for sure.
But shit, what are some of your like dream collabs with people you really want to work with, whether it's photography, videography, like going forward in the future, if you just had to speak it into existence?
I'm gonna work with Childish Gambino.
That'd be hard.
I can see that happening.
We need that new Atlanta season, man.
God willing, I'm gonna work with Spike Lee. I'm gonna have him shoot my video.
That's hard.
And honestly, just a lot of upcoming talent, like young cats. That's just like I don't got like a lot of people up that I really aspire. I really wanted to work with Kobe. That was like on my heart, man. I was sick. I was sick, bro. I just wanted to have a convo, but I'm gonna work with Drake too. And I don't even like we ain't gotta do nothing. I just want a portrait in a convo. That's it.
That'll be fire.
Wow.
It's close. Shit.
Portrait and convos.
Shoot, that sound like a podcast.
Sound like I did to me.
Is there anything that we didn't speak on that you might want to touch on? Any cool shit happening that we should know about? That the people want to know about?
Nah, I think we pretty much tapped into a lot of shit, man. I think like just stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, Creative Connect. You know, my website is creativeconnect.club.
Try to pull it up on the TV screen.
YouTube channel, Alexander H. Dot. If you can't find me, you probably got to put Alexander H. Dot Creative Connect, and I will pop up. And nah, man, everybody just stay focused, love life, and just, you know, I ain't gonna be cheesy and say stay woke, but at least stay aware. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, woke is whatever you make it, but like, just be open to everything that's happening in life, and you know, don't be sleek, man. Get you that guac coin.
That guap.
That guap. Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you for pulling up,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely
This was a
appreciate
good
you,
ass
bro.
combo, bro.
It's a fact. Shit. No label pod. We out.
Peace.